What's the most unforgivable thing a teacher ever did? One second I was standing in line for lunch, and the next my knees buckled and the floor tilted sideways. My blood sugar had crashed, and I knew it, but all I could think was that my glucose tablets, the only thing that could save me, were locked inside the principal's office 2 hallways away. It started that morning when I realized I had left my emergency kit at home. I'm diabetic, diagnosed at 9, type 1, insulin dependent. Every teacher, every nurse, every admin had my plan memorized by now. Bright blue pouch, giant medical ID sticker on it. It had to stay with me, always. But that day we had a new vice principal covering because the real one was out sick, Mr. Crawford. He introduced himself at the front office with a stiff handshake and a fake smile, and when he saw my blue pouch clipped to my backpack, he frowned like I was carrying a grenade. "What's that?" he asked. I explained calmly. Showed him my ID card, pointed to the emergency action plan taped to the wall behind him. He said it didn't matter. No personal medical supplies allowed outside of the nurse's office, new safety rule. I tried to explain again, slower, but he just cut me off. He physically took the pouch off my bag, walked it into his office, locked it in a drawer, and said, "If you need it, you can come ask." The nurse wasn't on campus that day, and he knew it. I spent the morning terrified. Every class felt longer, every step felt heavier. I kept telling myself I'd be fine. Just make it to lunch. Just make it to lunch. But by the time I stood in the cafeteria line, it was already too late. My vision blurred. Sweat poured down my face. I could feel the crash happening, but I couldn't get the words out fast enough. I tried to step forward, to ask for help, but my legs gave out. I collapsed in front of the milk cooler, hitting the ground hard. I heard someone shout my name, felt hands trying to sit me up, someone saying, "I think he's having a seizure." But all I needed was my pouch, my sugar tablets, my lifeline. The cafeteria staff called the office. Mr. Crawford showed up 5 minutes later, jogging casually like it was a fire drill. He stood over me, pulling keys out of his pocket and said, "Didn't think he'd really need it." He said it out loud, like I was just being dramatic. By the time he unlocked the drawer and found my pouch, I was barely responsive. The ambulance pulled up at the side doors minutes later. I woke up in the ER with an IV in my arm and my mom pacing the room like she was ready to tear down the hospital walls. She didn't ask me how I was. She just handed me a form the school had sent over. It said I had failed to properly notify administration of an urgent medical need. They suspended me for endangering school safety by carrying an unauthorized medical kit. They gave Mr. Crawford a 2-week paid leave and mandatory retraining. When my mom demanded an apology, the superintendent said it was a misunderstanding and that I should have advocated more clearly for myself. The next week, they called me into the front office. The secretary handed me a form and said if I signed it, admitting miscommunication on both sides, they could all move forward without further incident. I signed it because what else do you do when the adults who are supposed to protect you treat your survival like an inconvenience? Sometimes the most unforgivable thing a teacher can do isn't yelling at you. It's watching you collapse and deciding the rules are more important than your life, and then blaming you when you survive.